And we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance first. Here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We go right into it.
Okay, we are going to start and we are going to jump right on into our student recognitions tonight. We are so excited to welcome you guys all here. We have lots of amazing accomplishments that we're going to celebrate. We are going to start our celebrations with our littlest learners from the BECC. We are so excited to welcome Ms. Beth Clay here to introduce our early childhood nominees. So how this is going to work is Ms. Clay's going to have your teacher come up here, and your teacher is going to tell you why you won this amazing award, and then we're going to get some pictures, okay? But because it's a little snug in here, we're going to have you come in by teacher, and then when your teacher's done, we're going to go out this door, and Mr. Dobson's going to take a very fancy picture with you and your teacher. Okay, my early childhood friends? And don't worry, we'll help you out if you need it. Okay? All right, Miss Clay, you ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Welcome. We're so excited everybody's here this evening. We will come with our first teacher, Miss Rachel. She has two very special students she wants to announce.
Hello. Okay, so our first one's going to be Taishi Mori. Taishi, you can come on up. Come on up. Okay, starting preschool is challenging for all kids. It's made all the more complicated when you are learning English. Taishi and his whole family honestly have shown so much bravery in learning a new language. This is hard work. He's gone from a quiet little guy to a class leader. He answers questions at meetings, tells stories to his peers, and keeps us laughing every day. Okay. Our next one is Sally Clark.
Miss Sally!
Okay, last year Sally Clark came to us as a darling 3-year-old. And as most 3-year-olds do, was often in the midst of her very big feelings. This year, Sally is older, wiser, and an absolute leader in our room. She helps coach the younger students through their big emotions and reminds them to take a breath. She is a kind, inclusive friend, and she is always on the lookout for students who may be feeling a little lost or lonely. We're proud to have her in the Eagle Room.
Thank you, Miss Rachel from the Eagle Room.
If parents want to come
Miss
get the
Shelley
picture.
from the Leaf Room. She has two special students to announce. Hi, everyone. Okay, our first nominee for the Leaf Room is Colby Kinslow. Colby is nominated for his ability to successfully navigate academic centers and activities independently. Even though he's only been in the Leaf Room since mid-October, he is quickly acclimated to our classroom rules and routines, and after being given instructions, can easily carry out directions independently. I'm very proud of Colby. Our second nominee is Layla Harani. Layla is nominated for her consistent participation in group meetings. She is always asking and answering questions, as well as sharing her thoughts and opinions. She's an ideas girl who has a knack for creating excitement around the topics we study in class and for bringing the whole class along with her. Both Colby and Layla are well on their way to being prepared for kindergarten, and I'm extremely proud of both of them. If you want to go out in the hallway too to get your picture.
wants to come out too, you're welcome to.
Okay, next up we have Miss Katie from the River Room. She has two special students to announce.
Hi. So my first student is Brady Mormon. Brady Mormon was nominated for all his hard work in fine motor. Fine motor can be super tricky, especially for pre-K. He worked really, really hard on writing his name. This was a challenging task for him, but he stuck with it and has now mastered it. We are so proud of him. Brady is such an extreme hard worker. Okay. My second friend is Lena Glunt. Lena was nominated for being a wonderful leader in our classroom. She has worked very hard at giving her thoughts at meetings, but also letting others do the same. She's always a kind friend and tries to include everyone in her play. We are so proud of you. Good job.
Picture taken with your student. Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, next up is Miss Kelly from the Bear Hall.
The first student that I am recognizing is Lennon Bowman. Lennon, you want to come up? So I nominated Lennon for consistently showing kindness towards her classmates. This is Lennon's second year in the Bear Room, and she shows respectful communication skills with all of her classmates and encourages cooperation and teamwork during group activities. She also consistently includes others in her play and offers comfort when peers are upset. Lennon is a great friend and an asset in the Bear Room. I'm also recognizing Graydon Dixon tonight. Graydon, you want to come up? So Graydon shows a genuine love for learning. He especially loves books, and his enthusiasm for reading inspires others to join him. He always picks up books and asks his friends to come read with him. And he enjoys all of his friends and often invites them to look at books with him or reads aloud to them using pictures and memories. We love having Graydon in the Bear Room.
That is all from the Early Childhood Center. Thank you.
I know our littlest learner's bedtime might be creeping up, so you are welcome to take that picture and head home with your little ones. I know it's a late night for them. Next up, we will have McGrath come on down to celebrate their students. We will do a similar format so we can get those lovely pictures. So if you do want to grab that picture with your child, you're welcome to come back in, or you're welcome to get a picture out there, or you can take a picture later, whatever you prefer. Okay?
All right.
Dr. Gramhart with McGrath.
Alrighty. At McGrath Elementary, we have three core values, and that is to show respect, to act responsibly, and to be safe and peaceful. And so the students who I'm recognizing were nominated by their teachers for exhibiting the big three throughout the day and being leaders in the classroom and around the school. So these are some comments that their teachers shared with our students. So our first student to recognize is Savannah Litt. Savannah is a shining example. Savannah is a shining example of what it means to be a McGrath student. She is a hardworking learner who always puts forth her best effort no matter the task. Savannah truly embodies our McGrath values each day. She is peaceful, respectful, responsible, and safe in both her actions and her words. She is a loyal friend to all, offering kindness and encouragement to her classmates, and she consistently demonstrates leadership in and out of the classroom. We are proud to honor Savannah for the positive impact she makes on our school community. Next up, we have Margaret Nooner. Margaret is a great example of what it means to be a McGrath student. She works hard and always tries her best, no matter the activity. Margaret shows our McGrath values every day by being kind, respectful, responsible, and safe. She is a good friend who uses kind words and helps others. She makes our classroom a happy place to be. We are proud of Margaret and the positive choices she makes each day. Next up is Miss Ivy Nelson. Ivy is an exceptional student whose character shines in everything she does. She consistently demonstrates integrity, kindness, and a strong work ethic, approaching every challenge with grit and determination. Ivy leads by example, supporting her classmates, showing respect, and making thoughtful choices both in and out of the classroom. Her dedication to doing her best every single day makes her a true role model. And our last student to recognize is Otto Weber. Otto is an outstanding leader in our first grade community and is truly deserving of recognition. Each day he demonstrates remarkable self-control, consistently making thoughtful choices and setting a calm, responsible tone for his classmates. Otto approaches every task with hard work and determination, never hesitating to try his best, even when something feels challenging. What truly sets him apart is his positive, willing attitude. He brings enthusiasm to each school day and inspires others to do the same. Otto is a role model in both his actions and his character, and we are grateful to have him as a leader in our classroom.
Students, great job. If you guys want to go out here to get your picture taken, and then you can come back in, and if any parent wants to grab a picture while they're out there, feel free. Next up, we have Dr. Carol Easterbrook with the Mark Twain Elementary School.
Good evening. I am so happy to be here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and let these folks get on by us here. And again, as others have said, thank you all for coming. This is absolutely one of our favorite nights of the year. It is incredible to be able to recognize our students and talk about the boys and girls that make our place such a special community. I have a group of students that I would like to recognize this evening, so as I call your names, I think I'm going to have you guys come on over and stand this way, because it is a little bit crowded up there, okay? All right, so with the following students, please come forward. Henry Sainer. Eddie Lee. Olivia Fernandez. Tarando Smith. Avery Miller. Naomi Wilkerson. Giuseppe Hart. Schmalz. this incredible group of students as outstanding leaders within our Mark Twain community. Each one of these boys and girls consistently demonstrates kindness, responsibility, and respect, and they help create a positive and welcoming environment for everyone around them. Together, they lead by example through their strong work ethic, their positive attitudes, and their eagerness to learn. They come to school ready to do their best, to take initiative, help others without being asked, and they make thoughtful choices throughout the day. Their dedication and perseverance have led to meaningful growth for themselves and their classmates, both academically and personally. What truly sets this group apart is their overall character. They are caring friends, they are supportive classmates, and they are positive role models who lift up others and all through their actions and works. Their leadership and compassion makes our classrooms and our school a much stronger and happier place to be. We are incredibly proud of these students, and we are grateful for the impact that each one of you make every single day at Mark Twain. So let's give them another big round of applause. As I lead them out, if parents would like to come and get photos, we'll meet you in the hallway.
Great job, my Mark Twain friends. Next up, we have Dr. Doug Weiner with the middle school.
Good evening, everyone. So with the following 5 students, please come up. Peter Spall, Macy Lutz, Andrew Stafford, Damon Fridley, and Michael Challen, please come up. All right, so let me tell you a little story about the 5 of these young students here. So when I started here a couple of years ago, one of the things that people were talking about when I came was, boy, wouldn't it be great to have a video station, you know, where the kids run it and everything like that. So it had been in talks for a long time, and we actually, the first year I was there, we actually secured the space. So we found the space for it, so we had the space. We had wonderful staff members. Miss Bashi was ready to go. But what we really needed was students who we felt could really take initiative because it had not been done before. So we needed a group of students that felt confident enough with a blank slate, keeping in mind that there had been no precedent, to come forward and really sort of plunge into the cold water. All 5 of these students stepped up to the call. We asked for students, basically we told them what was going on. We threw it out there to many, many students, and these were the 5 that came forward to do it. So it takes a lot in middle school to go out there. It really takes a lot in middle school to go out there not knowing what's going to happen. So I want, they didn't know I'm going to do this, but I want each one of them to tell me one highlight so far. It's called the Brentwood Breakdown. Each one of them plays a role. I'm going to start here with Macy. Tell me one memory you have.
I like that it's just enjoyable and everybody gets to watch it, and sometimes it's funny.
I like watching the blooper mistakes that Eamon makes.
At the end of one of our videos, I got to throw something at Eamon, and that was really fun.
I like missing homeroom on Thursdays.
I like watching Andrew miss me throwing a stuffed animal.
You can see the chemistry that has developed between them. Thank you all.
I just have to say I was once a guest on this podcast. They asked me a very tricky question, and they did a great job, but the way they interact together is really quite impressive. They each have a role that they've assumed. It is very impressive, the work that they've done. Okay, next up, we have Brentwood High School, Dr. Edward Johnson.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking around for my high school kids. I was a little nervous that we would lose.
That was unintentional, sorry about that.
That's okay. So I'm actually going to honor 8 students, so kind of bear with me. This is my last year, and I see so many wonderful students, and so like it's always a difficult thing to do to narrow it down to the kids that I want to bring before a board. But I've got 8 exceptional students that I really want to brag about. So these 8 students are not only high achievers, but more importantly, they are BHS ambassadors. Young leaders who consistently demonstrate service, integrity, humility, and a genuine commitment to others. Leadership at Brentwood High School is not about titles alone. It's about showing up, lifting others, and making our community stronger through everyday actions. The 8 students we are honoring tonight embody that spirit in powerful and meaningful ways. The first student I'd like to recognize is Mr. Jonathan Brandt. Jonathan, please come forward. So BHS proudly recognizes Jonathan for his outstanding leadership and his service to BHS. Jonathan consistently volunteers his time at key school events such as parent-teacher conferences and the BHS Info Night, always willing to help wherever he is needed. Jonathan is a quiet leader who leads through actions rather than words. His kindness, thoughtfulness, and steady presence help create a welcoming and supportive environment for students, families, and staff. Through his genuine acts of service and reliability, Jonathan models what it means to lead with integrity at Brentwood High School. Jonathan Brandt. All right, so next we have Lizzie Butler. Come on forward. So Lizzie exemplifies leadership across academics, activities, and service. As Vice President of Student Council, she has demonstrated strong collaboration, responsibility, and a deep commitment to representing the student body with integrity. Lizzie was also instrumental in helping launch Brentwood High School's Best Buddies chapter, reflecting her dedication to inclusion and building meaningful connections. In addition, she has been a cornerstone for our theater program, leading both on and off the stage with preparation, professionalism, and creativity. Elizabeth, her positive presence, empathy, and confidence make her a unifying force within our school and truly an outstanding student leader. Lizzie Butler. Right, so next we have Kensington. Kenzie Kerr, come forward, please. So BHS is proud to recognize Kenzie Kerr for her exceptional leadership, character, and achievement. Kenzie consistently demonstrates strong values, a willingness to help others, and a steady positive presence throughout our school community. As Secretary of Student Council Cabinet, she brings organization, responsibility, and dedication to student leadership. Kenzie has also made history as a 4-sport varsity athlete, not 3, 4, okay? Kenzie has competed in cross country, basketball, soccer, and track. Across every role, Kenzie leads by example through her work ethic, resilience, sportsmanship, representing Brentwood High School with pride and integrity. Kenzie Kerr. So next we have Kelsey Hanser. Come on. So Kelsey is a leader whose impact is felt both within our school and beyond. Recently, she was recognized by the St. Louis County government for her leadership. Kelsey exemplifies service, dedication, and character. As president of our student council, she has led an energetic and successful school year, strengthening school pride and creating meaningful opportunities for student engagement. Kelsey also played a key role in launching Best Buddies at BHS, reflecting her commitment to inclusion and authentic relationships. Her positivity, determination, and ability to lead with both heart and purpose make her an inspiring role model for our students. Kelsey Hansen. All right, we're almost there. Taylor Pennington, please come forward. All right. So BHS would like to recognize Taylor Pennington for her outstanding leadership, rooted in service, adaptability, and positivity. Taylor has been incredibly helpful as a volunteer at some of Brentwood High School's largest events, consistently stepping in wherever support is needed and representing BHS with a caring personality and enthusiasm for BHS pride. One little fun thing to note is Taylor's also the best dancer that we have in the school, so it's always cool to see Taylor at homecoming. So Taylor approaches new situations with resilience and optimism. She's always willing to step outside of her comfort zone and fully engage. Taylor's kindness and encouragement create an environment where others feel supported and valued. Through her openness to learning and unwavering positive spirit, Taylor exemplifies leadership that uplifts those around her. Taylor Pennington. All right, next we have Vinny Ceramis. Come on up. Not down, but I guess up. All right, so Vinny is being recognized for his remarkable service and quiet leadership. Vinny has volunteered for nearly every opportunity available this year, including parent-teacher conferences, BHS Info Night, pretty much everything we offered. We can count on Vinny to consistently support our staff, families, and visitors. Vinny leads with kindness, humility, and reliability. He does the right thing without seeking recognition, setting a powerful example for his peers. His service-oriented mindset and steady presence contribute to a welcoming school culture, reflecting the core values of BHS. Vinny Ceramis. All right, Mr. John White, come forward. So we have to recognize John White for his exceptional, again, reliability. That's the theme tonight. Initiative and leadership. John has played a vital role in numerous National Honor Society initiatives, consistently stepping forward to support leadership opportunities across our school. In addition, John has taken on a new role as a BHS News anchor, providing another meaningful way to contribute and strengthen our school culture. Through this platform, he helps inform, connect, and engage our student body while representing BHS with confidence and integrity. Highly respected by both staff and peers, John is known for his willingness to lead new initiatives, encourage participation, and support others. Even in unfamiliar situations, he embraces challenges and is genuinely invested in the success of those around him. John's humility, adaptability, and service-centered leadership truly exemplifies the very best of BHS. John White. Last one, Jordan, the last of the three amigos, who I gotta say, we knocked off MRH tonight in a big rivalry game. So Jordan Beard is a student leader with more leadership qualities than she often realizes, okay? She was instrumental in planning and executing the homecoming pep assembly, demonstrating strong organization, collaboration, and poise under pressure. Jordan is always willing to step in and help whenever needed, making her a trusted and dependable presence within our school community. In addition, she has been instrumental in hosting and supporting inclusion-focused activities, helping to create welcoming spaces where all students feel valued and connected. A true multi-sport leader, Jordan has served as a captain on the varsity volleyball, basketball, and soccer teams, where she leads by example and elevates those around her and consistently models integrity, commitment, and teamwork. Jordan, give it up for Jordan. All right, so in closing, to our 8 student leaders, student ambassadors, you are the heart of BHS. You remind us that leadership is not about recognition, but about service. Not titles, but about impact. Each of you represents our school with pride, integrity, and compassion, and you make our community stronger because of who you are. On behalf of BHS, thank you for leading with excellence. We are incredibly proud of you and honored to celebrate you all this evening. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Picture?
That was the meetup in hiding.
Thank you all for coming tonight. You may now adjourn as you have gone on. If you would like, you're welcome to stay for the board meeting. But I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and thank you all for coming.
I prefer
Thank you for what you do. Thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. We appreciate you.
Peter. You're not staying for the board meeting? No, but Peter, I thought you were very excited for the boys to do something. No.
Yeah, there's 5. I saw all of you lined up. Like the whole row. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Lose one, they haven't done that.
They're doing a photo.
Oh, yeah, there's
Thank you guys for doing that.
Bye,
Like, it's just like
Bye, see ya.
Congrats to meet you guys. Thank you.
We're going to take a brief pause while we wait for Tony to take a picture, and then he's going to come in and do the spotlight. So, stretch your legs. Sorry about that. We're multitasking tonight.
How was the gathering today for the teachers? Brian, Mark, and Keith and I were there.
I'll take it.
I were there, yeah.
While we're waiting, I'll introduce him to you. While we're waiting, I'll introduce you to the rest of the board. This is Rick Teddick, our new Thoreau. Was it chilling? And this is Mark.
So this is a multi-purpose room?
Yes, they do a lot of gross motor stuff.
But they also have all their puppies in here.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you hanging out the whole time? Are you hanging out the whole time?
Thought I was I'm curious.
Good, well, thank you for being our audience. But we were hoping that more people, we do have audience members, but
Thank you, audience members.
we were hoping more people would stick around to watch the spotlight on Brentwood. It's not as good as the awards directly with the kids, but it is a highlight of
It
our
makes
month.
us happy every time.
Shine on student recognition. And Dr. Zielinski asked me to cut it down so that I wouldn't steal the thunder of everybody, so it all works out. So, and it was kind of stressful, so we're all,
Yeah, when you move spaces, it adds a layer of logistics that sometimes we don't think all the way through.
All right, so thank you for giving me a few minutes to highlight some of the good things that have happened between our last board meeting and tonight. As you know, we break them up into our 4 strategic plan categories. Student success, school culture, diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility, and then unified community engagement. So starting first, student success, and this was a rehash from last month because we thought the room would be packed full of people.
We wanted everyone to celebrate.
It's such great news that we will share it again just so that we really drive it home. But Brentwood earned the state's top accreditation status with a 3-year composite score of 95.8, qualifying the district as accredited with distinction. That was part of the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education's annual performance report, so they call it the NPR. So our 3-year composite score, 95.8, accredited with this distinction. We are only 3 K-12 districts in Missouri to achieve that distinction. One really, really small one a little bit bigger than us, kind of right in the middle. So we're in very rare air and good company. So our 24-25 score of 95.4 ranked top 10 statewide and 3rd in the St. Louis region. These results reflect strong performance in the 6th version of the Missouri School Improvement Program, and some factors that they take note of: student growth, academic achievement, graduation rates, and college and career readiness. So this is not just, obviously we did well, or we've done well in individual years, but then we've also showed we've done well over time. So it's not a fluke, it's not, a flash in the pan, it's consistent, continued success and academic achievement. So worth noting once again in December. And then, and she left, this was going to be great. We have our very own Miss Rachel. So this is Brentwood Early Childhood Center preschool teacher, Rachel Beard-Curran. And last month, Miss Rachel was named a 2025 Emerson Excellence in Teaching Award honoree. She was one of 106 educators recognized across the St. Louis region. The Emerson Award honors educators for exceptional dedication to student learning, leadership, and community impact. This is Miss Rachel's 14th year at BECC, and she is known for creating a warm, student-centered classroom that nurtures curiosity, creativity, and connection. And my kids are just a little bit too old where we miss like the Miss Rachel thing. So I think there's like a really famous Miss Rachel or whatever, but we have our very own famous Miss Rachel that we call the other Miss Rachel a run for her money. So it's in student success because the classroom teacher is the #1 impact on student success and achievement in the classroom is that classroom teacher that makes direct contact with those students every single day. So we can't have student success without teachers like that. And then on to school culture. And this is a fun one, and it doesn't seem like very long ago, because I don't think it really was. It was a couple of weeks ago. All right, our K-12 holiday music performances. So students across the district brought the holiday season to life with festive musical performances, showcasing talent, teamwork, and school pride at every level. It started off the first week of December through an early release and a snow day and then some stuff, but mixed in there we had our middle and high school band and choir concerts. So under the direction of Grant Krenner, delivered polished performances that reflected strong musicianship and dedication. And then last week, one of everyone's favorites, our elementary students shared festive songs and joyful moments during their winter sing concerts, led by Deb Stinson at Mark Twain and Lori Regent at McGrath, delighting families and community members. These performances highlight the strength of Brentwood's fine arts program and the meaningful connections built through music across our schools. And every school, every district has holiday performances, musical performances. I remember doing them when I was a kid. I went to my kids this year. Ours are just different. There's just something about them that are a little bit different, like when the music teachers are getting flowers and parents are bringing flowers for the kids after the show is over and everybody's dressed up just like that. It's just something to behold. It's something that makes us unique, it's special, that yes, other schools and other districts have holiday music performances, but I can confidently say, at least in my experience, not like this. And then our last highlight for this evening. Under Unified Community Engagement, we have a thank you. So we have a thank you to the Pulse newspaper and Jean Dell Printing. So after nearly 50 years of keeping the Brentwood community informed, Pulse newspaper published its final edition in December, marking the end of a long-standing Brentwood tradition. For decades, the Pulse served as a trusted source of local news, celebrating our students, schools, staff, and community milestones month after month. We are deeply grateful to the Pulse newspaper and to Jean Dell for their long-standing partnership and for providing this free community resource that helped connect our neighbors, and highlight the great things happening in our schools. Just on a personal note, community newspapers are few and far between now. There's not a lot of them left. This was a wonderful resource for us. Even when at the beginning of the year they stopped delivering door to door and still just put them out in select locations, it was still a great resource to just, like, they just gave me, not free reign, but they said, fill up, we have room for you to fill it up. Everything I gave them, all the positive stories, all the good news, they always found space for it, plus some more. So like that column in the middle is what I sent them for December, and then they would pull other stuff too from social media and things like that, pictures and little blurbs and things like that. So just a great resource. We are looking to try to balance that out, to try and come up with how can we not replace the Pulse, is irreplaceable, but to find another way to reach everybody in our community with maybe like a community newsletter type print that we do once a quarter or 3 times a year in the spring, in the summer, and the fall, to make sure that we are still getting our good news in front of every eye in our boundaries, and it's it's delivered to their mailbox. They have to look at it before they either hopefully recycle it or read through it all the way. So we're looking into that, checking to see what other districts do, who do they use, how often do they do it, how much does it cost, because there is a cost associated with a mass-produced newsletter, but certainly worth the investment, and we're looking into it to make sure that we can kind of pick up that torch and continue to push it forward. So just on behalf of myself and everybody at Brentwood, thanks to the Pulse and to Jean Dell Printing for the stories they shared, the history they preserved, and the role they played in strengthening our community. So just really appreciate it. And that's all I have for this evening. Does anybody have any questions?
Can we do some kind of official thank you thing of some sort to Pulse?
Yeah, and we wrote them a letter, but we can definitely talk about
I mean, in that, I know it's.
Okay. Maybe
like in that very first story from a message from Dr. Z is in there to, thanking the polls for their specific, and when we sent that off, it was funny because Joyce emailed me right back and said, thanks Dr. Z, or thanks Dr. Z for kind words and things like that. And we posted it on social media and they commented on it as well, so I know they're getting a lot of big thank yous, just a wonderful resource, so.
You covered it already then, that's.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they've been such a resource for a
Oh, yeah, and
long time.
for them to give us this kind of, it's very, we should be very grateful for their partnership with us. Because it will, and to give for free is really huge to make sure everybody in the community who may or may not be in our schools every day and don't get to see what we saw tonight and that on a regular basis. It's a wonderful opportunity for them to see where their taxpayer dollars are going and what we're doing great in the district. So definitely a wonderful resource.
Anything else? Good, all right.
Thank you,
Thank you, Tony.
Oh, yours.
Okay, yeah, because I'm gonna probably have to sit on it with the computer. Okay?
All right. Such good updates tonight. Do we have any citizens' comments for this evening? Kate, did you receive any? Okay, great. Then we'll move to roll call, please.
Mark Cicero.
Here.
Katie Clark. Ryan Dodson.
Here.
Ryan Quinn. Keith Ravenberg.
Here.
Katie Spall.
Here.
Lindsay Spencer.
Here. Thank you. If I could get a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Great, that is approved and moves us into the superintendent's report.
Okay, first up, audit report, Mr. Matt Norrid. Exciting stuff. He's got a couple topics for us. We'll start with the audit.
I'm not gonna lie, I am excited about the audit.
You should be. I am glad you are.
We start this process every year, usually around May or June. We just wrapped this up probably within the last few weeks. We work very closely with our current auditors. Miller, Obergefell, and Jones performed our audit this year. I'm not going to take their saying away because I'll probably say a lot of the things that I want to hear from them. And I'm not going to say our opinion. So Ms. Samantha Miller is here to present. And come on.
All right. Good evening. On behalf of Miller, Obergefell, and Jones, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to perform the district's annual audit. It's always a pleasure working with the district's staff. I want to extend our appreciation to Matt and his team for their assistance and professionalism throughout the audit process. They were very prompt and thorough in providing all of the requested information, which we greatly appreciate. And their cooperation makes the audit process efficient and successful. So as part of the audit engagement, we issue a couple opinions. The first is on the district's financial statements. I am pleased to report that we issued an unmodified opinion, which means that the financial statements are presented fairly in all material respects. In other words, it was a clean audit, and no material errors or issues were noted. This is the highest level of assurance that can be provided and the best opinion a district can receive. The second opinion we issue is with regard to the district's compliance with the requirements of Missouri's laws and regulations regarding budgetary and disbursement procedures, accurate disclosure of the district's records of attendance, and other requirements as listed in the Schedule of Selected Statistics. We found the district to be in compliance with state requirements relating to attendance and the budgetary procedures. There are no financial statement findings or instances of non-compliance to report. You should have received a copy of our communication to those charged with governance or our management letter, along with the audit report. The management letter consists of standard verbiage that we're required to communicate to you. In closing, I would like to congratulate the district on an excellent audit, and we commend the administration and staff for their continued diligence and attention to detail. We appreciate the opportunity to work with the district, and thank you to the board for your continued trust in our firm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
So we do ask for, this is an action item, we do ask for approval. Upon pending your approval, our next steps will be submitting this documentation to our bond counsel and to Department of Ed, and then we'll follow up with any other questions that you may have.
If I could have a motion to approve the audit report as presented.
I make a motion to approve the audit report as presented.
Second.
Discussion? Oops. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Well done.
That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Oh,
Matt.
don't go anywhere. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for coming tonight.
Thank you so much.
Have a good evening.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
You guys, we should have more information.
Yeah. Our eternal gratitude.
Have a good night.
Next up, we have liability insurance.
So each year, as part of our commercial package, we present adoption approval of our music commercial insurance package. We're part of a consortium that we purchase insurance for general liability, workers' comp. We are happy to say that our loss ratio for our workers' comp did support some of the control and the cost escalation in this. Last year, if you were sitting here, you probably saw that we had a pretty significant increase that we're asking the board to adopt. This year, we are looking at about 5.85% increase. We're pretty happy with that. That's consistently or significantly less than what we've seen in the last 2 years. We are showing increases in the value of our property. We're also showing increases in our salaries, which all of that comes through as a certain amount of increase. We did just receive our umbrella policy, but we'll bring that for board approval in January.
I could have a motion to approve our commercial insurance.
I make a motion to approve insurance rates for the 2026 calendar year as presented.
Second.
Discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right.
All right, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Matt.
you,
Thank
Matt.
It's a lot easier.
It is.
Yeah,
Less
last
discussion.
time
Much better than last year. Next up, we have Dr. Miller. Okay, wonderful. Ms. Libby Wilson will be coming down to present our NTV agreement. I just want to publicly say, before Andrew and Libby say anything, to thank both our teaching staff as well as Dr. Miller for facilitating what I believe was a really positive negotiation and conversation around meeting the needs of our teachers and our organization. So I want to thank you both publicly. You can thank them too, but I got to thank you. I got to thank you, Dr. Miller and Libby, and all of the teachers who were a part of it. I really am grateful for the work. All right.
Definitely.
So we are seeking your approval for our non-traditional bargaining agreement with the teachers union. Shout out to all the hard work. I know we had 2 board members who actively participated, administrators, and then a huge shout out to the teachers. Ms. Wilson here is representing the NEA, and we are excited to collaborate and work through these agreements together. And I feel like we really have a win-win deal, and I hope that the teachers feel the same. And we are excited to present this to you for your approval.
As a representative of the Brentwood NEA, we'd like to thank you for the process and for the opportunity to collaborate and work together to come to a solution that our members enthusiastically support. Thank you.
It's wonderful
That
to
is
hear.
such good
That
news.
is
Great.
Do you guys have questions for us?
We'll make a motion and then see if there are any questions. If we could have a motion.
I make a motion to approve the Brentwood School District Memorandum of Agreement between the Brentwood School District and the Brentwood Educator Representative Group.
Second.
All right, discussion. Any questions? I will just say, as one of the board members that got to participate in the process, Dr. Zielinski did a great job also running that process, but it was great to come into the room and be collaborative and working together. It was more than I expected, and I'm really happy with how it worked out as well. So, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Perfect, yay.
I want to thank the board for their support, because if without the board support, it would not have been able to be as seamless as it was. So thank you all for supporting it. Wonderful.
Okay, now it's you.
Now it's me. This is exciting stuff. And those of you that are waiting to get home, I'm sorry that I'm standing between you and getting home. Oh, I left my clicker. So tonight, we're going to do a little bit of a strategic plan update. We're going to see if the computer's going to work with me. Tony's going to help out if not. as you remember, we have a data dashboard. I'm not sure if you guys have looked at it lately. I put it on the weekend update. I'm gonna just real quick pop over here and show this, because I do want to highlight a couple of things. The data dashboard
That's right when you need
That
it.
happened when I clicked on it, but I was hoping.
Is that what happened when you did?
Yeah.
Okay,
No, it
we're good.
is what-
I can do it. I think I just linked the one that was maybe.
I didn't get that.
When you clicked on
If you
it?
go through the weekend update at work, if you want to do
No, I
Here we go.
Right.
I got it up.
Yeah, I think I just must have linked it to the one that was in my, linked it to the one that was where I logged in. So I probably linked it. That was probably a neat situation. So all of these indicators are updated as of, I think last week we finished them. So you can see all of our overview of where we're standing in the statistics. If you remember our 4 categories that we have here, very excited about our student success. We've already celebrated that tonight. APR, looking at our academic achievement, looking at our college and career readiness, we are one of the top in the state. When you look at what we are preparing our students for, and these numbers, again, we had thought to do them 3 times a year, but I'm going to be honest, that becomes a little more cumbersome than we expected. So we're going to do those twice a year, each semester, so that we have this data. But you can look here through the data. We did switch to a different assessment, if you'll remember, for K-5 with iReady. And so that data, especially when we look at growth, is going to look a little bit different as we look into the future. And Ron and I are looking at the best way to make sure how we're reporting that the most accurately. And so we are in a good spot here with the baseline. I'm not going to go through all of this, but I will save time for any questions. Another area that we have seen that has just been updated because we just got this data is on the school culture and climate survey. In almost all areas, the one area that did not actually increase as much is the students, and so we're going to dig into that. I've been having my one-on-ones with the principals, and we've been looking at each of their individual building data and looking at each individual response to the questions so that the principals can look with their teachers around, so where have we gone up, where have we gone down, what's the question asking, what are some areas for growth, and what are some celebrations. So we just got this data last Tuesday, and I just updated it last week, and like I said, the principals are just getting it now. So the goal will be for them to share this with their staff next semester, and then at that time, they'll be able to really dig into that data and what it means. This is one piece of data, but it's a good measure because we've been giving this since the spring of 2024, which is actually the spring before I became the superintendent. So I'm not gonna lie to you, there's a lot for me to be like, whew, I'm really looking at that spring of 2024 to now and see, how are things going. And the great news is almost universally things are going better. So yeah, well, selfishly, I'm glad to see that data. So I have not taken anything, so that is a good sign. So, but we are seeing from our parent satisfaction some pretty significant increases, and we're really excited about that. You can see this, and I'm not going to go through all of it tonight, mostly because it's extremely cumbersome, but this is things that are really important talking points, I think, for our community. But you can view the data, and you can see it from the spring. Like I said, the students, we haven't seen massive areas of them like significantly lowering. We just haven't seen some of the growth that we've seen with both our teacher groups and with our community groups. And so that's just something we want to keep in mind and look at the questions and see if there's any areas that we can improve upon. One of the things, too, that I'd like us to work on, especially when we get to the staff, is making sure that when we, or not staff actually, we have seen it in most areas, if you do the spring, I think I did it backwards because my brain's working the wrong way, but you gotta start on the far end and go to the right. So you gotta pay attention because when I put it in there, that made sense, and now that I'm talking it through, I'm like, oh no, the other way made more sense. So we gotta kind of play with that a little bit. But you'll see some of the areas of growth. But when we look at particularly community members, I want more people to take the survey. We're averaging about 150 to 175 is about where we're sitting. We surveyed 150 families in this community. It would be wonderful if we could increase that. And so just talking with the principals, the problem is because this is it's a good snapshot. It does what it needs to do for us. It meets the DESE requirements, but it is a free tool. We can't control when we offer it for parents and community members to take it. And that adds a little bit of a challenge to, like, there's other times of year that may be better or ways to do it, and we just don't have a lot of control over that. But just trying to brainstorm some ways to get that. And so same thing with staff. We want, you know, we've tried to get as many people to take it. It is geared towards teaching staff. It does not really have questions that are aligned to the support staff, which is another challenge with the survey that we need to address. One other really big thing I want to show you on the indicators, mostly because we've been talking about this a lot since I became, all of this is updated. We've done some great work with our social media. I want to give Tony a huge shout out for the social media and the social media with our school buildings. But what I also really wanted to show you is this total enrollment. We've talked a lot about, you know, our goal to either to retain our students, and I think that the goal to, you know, we're a 2.5 square mile landlocked district. Growing enrollment is there's only a certain amount that can be grown, and so we wanted to find numbers to really be telling the real story of where we are as a district, because I think there's a lot of anecdotal information, but maybe not as much like hard facts. And so this slide, I think, or this indicator, if you click on view data under enrollment, I think there's some really great celebrations here that maybe we haven't been telling the story as much as we could. One of those great celebrations comes out of our early childhood. If you look in 2017, we were retaining about 65% of our students would go from the early childhood to Brentwood for kindergarten. We are now averaging about 85 to all the way as high as 89% over the last 3 years of students. And this is not exactly perfect, because if kids are like, if they have like a July birthday, the way for us to read this data is a little tricky, because if they have a July birthday and their parents decide to wait a year, they would be counted as not coming because they're eligible for kindergarten, and they may come, but they may just come the other year. It's just harder for us to pull the data a little bit because of the way early childhood and kindergarten works. Regardless though, you're seeing exactly what you'd want to see, is some great growth, and the idea that our children, when they go to our early childhood, stay with us, which is wonderful from both an academic standpoint, because we know these kids and we can do early interventions and we can make sure that their transition is smooth, but also it's a wonderful opportunity for us, you know, once we get our kids here, we like to keep them here. Some other great information that I think is important is our students. These are very Christmassy colors, that wasn't necessarily intended, and this doesn't really let me make them uniform without it being completely a pain, so I apologize for the various shades. It's a very weird program, but it's suctioned pretty well. So this is our K-5 total enrollment, kids who have transferred out versus kids who have transferred in K-5 over since 17 and 18, and that's when we started, this is where we have good, accurate data that doesn't, like, for us to find data beyond 17, 18, it's really tricky. Make sure it's accurate, and to be honest, you get that far out, I don't know what story it tells us, because there's a lot of other variables. We've had in this, these are resident, and I think this is really important, because we have served students from the VIC program for several years, and Riverview Gardens and Normandy students that have come and gone over the years, because during this time frame there was a lot of transferring. This is just focusing on resident students, because we can't control some of those things, like if they's out of the VIC program, and like Riverview Gardens, it's wonderful that they gained their accreditation, but all of that is kind of things that we aren't able to control. So focusing on residents we thought was a good way for us to be able to tell that story. So you can see, obviously red means we had more kids transfer out than transfer in, and then green are the years that we've had more students transfer in. And that doesn't count like just our total enrollment, that's just the transferring. So you'll see at our elementary level, we are seeing many more students transfer in the last several years. And so this would not be like kindergarten enrollment. So again, this is not our total enrollment, but just people coming in and out. 6-12 students, so you will see 6 through 12, and this is an area, this isn't a surprise to us, this is an area that we have room to grow, and this is an area where we've done a lot of work in the last several years. You will see we are, as of last year, in the positive, which is wonderful. And you will also see that the number, you know, you look at COVID year, and you look at the year of COVID when we started 2020, so 2020, the 2021 school year is the year where we started the year virtual. And we lost 17 students that year. But there's not like a consistency in numbers, so it's really hard to, was that the only reason? It's hard to tell. But what I thought was interesting to lay next to this is the reasons. So I think it's really important for us to be telling the story of where people are going. And so if you look at, these are the reasons that we have, like from our assessment system or our data collection system. So Sue was able to put this, so it's kids that go into homeschooling. So we have a small number that does do that. Transfer to private schools in Missouri. So this is K-5. It is a little bit different. But there's also this narrative that all of our kids are leaving to go to St. Mary Magdalene. Of the kids that are leaving, it's not 20% of our total number. Of the kids that are leaving, 21% are leaving to go to private schools in Missouri. 38% are transferring to public schools out of the district, but in Missouri. It means their families are moving. So their families are moving out of Brentwood. So 38% of our elementary families. Transferring to another country, so we have families often that come in and are here, whether their parents are here for, working at WashU, whatever that may be. They actually move back to their home country. And so you'll see that's actually, a pretty significant number when we look at our elementary. And then the other number is public schools out of state. Again, that's families moving. Those are not things that we can necessarily control. Families moving, choosing to find a bigger home, a home that meets their needs, those kinds of things. Those are also harder for us to track the why. Very often we don't know until they move. So it's a little bit harder to get kind of the exit interview and that kind of thing. We do have exit interviews with any family that is willing to, and I have in the last 2 years done exit interviews with all the families that are willing to meet with me. We either do a survey or an in-person meeting for any family that goes to a private school to learn kind of what their whys are. And then 612, this is another one that I think is important because we're also telling a narrative that families are mass exodusing to private schools at the secondary level, and that is also not the highest reason. It's higher than elementary, but it is not the largest, it's not the biggest number, except for a couple years. So you're seeing that again, we're seeing about, in the last 2 years, 30 to 28%. The 2 years before that, it was a little bit higher at over 40%. But transferring, you're seeing that still a lot of students are transferring to public schools outside of Brentwood, which means they're moving. So and again, it's changed over time. There's been some years where the private school is a bigger number than students moving, but there's other years where it's not. So I just think it's really important. It's just data. Data is just data, and I once had a good friend who is a data person who says good data should not make you ask more questions. And so the questions become, again, private schools. What are private schools offering that perhaps we're not, so that we can capture some of those students. And again, people moving, that's a little bit harder to capture, but let's control what we can control, and let's have conversations around what we can control. And I think that this data just helps us see, if those conversations and all the other work that we're going to talk about in 1 second, with the strategies, all the other work we're doing, this should be kind of the indicator that the other work is working. The more we do around school culture, the more school pride we bring in at the secondary level, the more work we do about real world learning and pathways, the more the hope would be that we would see that change as we look through these indicators. So these will be updated. September 25th is the school enrollment date. That's the number we use because obviously enrollment goes up like this and down like this. As much as whenever we get a new student, I want to update the numbers. I have to wait till September 25th. So I stock these numbers. I have like 72 spreadsheets, but this I think is a good way. And it's been an addition. Like I said, I just wanted to show, based on conversations we've had as a board, and just goals for me personally, making sure that we have a way to capture that a little bit easier and something that you can look updated to. Any questions about the indicators before we move to strategies? Strategies is the work we've been doing this year. So I want to make sure that we highlight that. But anything I can talk about.
It's more of a comment. That is excellent work. I mean, that
Sue Roy, give a lot of works to Sue Roy.
But that really quantifies what we've been talking about for a while. So thank you. That's really, really good.
Very welcome, and thanks to Katie Clark. She kind of got the ball rolling in my head of how can we get a dashboard that could be updated, and so that's when we were able to kind of put it together. So I appreciate that feedback, and huge shout out to Sue Roy, who has been pulling this data every time I ask, well, can we do it this way? Can you tell me this? Is there an easy way? And so she's been pulling all of that for me. So huge shout out to her. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And how did we decide what questions to go on the questionnaire for reasons for moving?
We've had them for a while.
Or not reasons for moving, but reasons for leaving.
Reasons for leaving?
Yeah.
They're very open-ended. But we've had them for a while. Just kind of the questions that we've had on the
carryover
for a while. When I talk to people, it's much more
You'll get the real story.
Yeah. I like talking to people. And
Yes.
people have been really gracious. So I give a thank you to the people who have met with me. They've been very gracious because I don't want them to feel like I'm trying to shame them for leaving. Like, oh, why are you leaving? Like, no, it's a very nice conversation, I think. Everybody's got to do what they need to do for their family. And I think this is what we have to remember. Like, I want families to make whatever choice is right for them. And they always will and they should for their individual children. But I want to make it the hardest choice possible. And I want to make sure that they're making the choice on accurate information
Yes.
about our school district, not perceived gaps that we may have that aren't actually true gaps. And so I think that's a really important part. And as we look at some of these strategies, trying to fill those gaps. And we've gotten great information of areas that we know we need to grow, and parents have reinforced that those are opportunities for growth for us. So great conversations that we've been having.
Question on how you collect the data. Are you using enrollment data, like re-enrollment data? To
Yeah,
determine
we're
who to
using
reach out to?
everything that we have to report to the state from DESE, that's the data we're using. So like what we have to collect in our Infinite campus system.
Okay.
So that's the most standardized data that we can use.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it could be apples to oranges if you don't do it the same. That's why we use the September 25th count date, because that's when it's like the official data that we're sending into the state. So everything that we keep in that Infinite campus is what we're using. Okay, so just some things to see if you'll remember. I thought this platform was going to be really cool and like calculate the math for us. It doesn't. So this is like approximate math. So don't hold us to the numbers. I mean, we could be like 58%. We could be 60%. I like divided it. This is Amy math, not Matt Norton math. So let's just put that right there, that there is a difference. I mean, it's accurate, but not to the level this is accurate. So if you look here, these are the strategies that we outlined at this Summer Institute and where we stand on the Summer Board Retreat, where we are on each of those. And many of them have little links so that you can see kind of where, what we've done, so you have some evidence to show that. I'm not going to go through all of these because on the future slides, but you can see we're getting the work done. We have been very productive, and I do want to, before I switch to just kind of the highlights that I wanted to share with everyone today, I need to give a huge shout out to the entire cabinet that are here today. So we've got Matt, Andrew, Ronnie, Trevina, and Tony back there, and Andy Hartnett needs to be up here too. None of this could get done. They're the ones that are doing this work. I'm standing up here because they are amazing and have done a lot of the heavy lifting on all of this. So huge, huge thank you. Thank you, thank you. All of this work would not happen without an amazing team. So publicly need to thank them for all of this. I am presenting their work. Ronnie gets a huge shout out for the first few. Instructional framework, I gotta tell you, I mean, it hurts my feelings a little bit that I was in 6 years in the same role in a different district trying to get this work done. And Ronnie's done it in a year and a half, not even a year and a half. She got it done in a year, so she's much more effective than I ever was. But we're doing learning walks, and teachers are willingly joining us on these learning walks. I join them when I can because I miss the C&I world. And so we now have a language of instruction in the Brentwood School District. We are celebrating that language. Her and Stacy Taylor, our ELA coordinator, are providing feedback to our principals and feedback to our teachers on what is going really well in our classrooms so that they can learn and grow from one another. Our goal is to just expand upon that as we move into the future years and have more teachers and teacher-led ones. Our MTSS work, huge shout out to our administrators. That's that multi-tiered systems of support to ensure that every single child is gaining a tier 1 first best instruction, quality instruction for every single child, but that as students maybe struggle or excel, that their needs are getting met in the areas and provided interventions by our reading specialists, math specialists, gifted specialists, special education teachers as we look into that tier 3 and beyond to make sure that the needs of all of our kids are being met both academically and social and emotionally. And we've been really focusing on behaviors as we came out of the pandemic. As we know, there has been just an uptick in some of the behaviors that we've seen, and students maybe not quite as ready for learning as we would like them to be, and so just helping our teachers work with that. And so the work this year has been primarily with our administrative team, making sure they're understanding what this needs to look like in their building and providing them the professional development with future goal of then next year bringing this more to the teacher level and what that looks like. Some of that will happen second semester too as we start kind of tipping that way. Another huge celebration for Ronnie is the scheduling. Another thing that I had done, and it took 2.5 years in my previous role, and in a 1.5 to 2 years, we will have a schedule, but Ronnie's done it in 3 meetings. It took me a lot more than 3 meetings. So we are going to be presenting next month a revised schedule for 6-12 to have conversations so that we can have more intervention time for students to be able to get the needs met at the secondary level, one that aligns our middle school and high school schedules because 40% of our teachers are shared staff, and so it allows us for opportunities to bring kids together, things like mentorships. It helps us look differently at our curriculum and our opportunities like real world learning for kids, and makes it all a lot more streamlined and easy to do. So very excited, and that will roll out next school year. But all the work is happening right now, and this is a box that they're playing with, and building master schedules is a complex thing that my brain doesn't do very well, so thank goodness for Sue, Roy, and Ronnie. And our counselors, who are really doing a lot of lifting on the master schedule. 6-12 collaborations. I know some of you have high schoolers, and I hope that they have come home and told you, I'm seeing purple and purple eyes. We've got music. Middle schoolers have a lot more enthusiasm than high schoolers. And by that I mean they like to scream a lot louder. And so they have really raised the bar at our pep assemblies, and huge shout out to Jamesia Chiava, our new 6-12 AD, for the work she's done to just bring that pep. We had a pink out game, our community engagement, our community tailgates teammates that we did in the fall. All these great things and opportunities. Libby Wilson, I'm glad you're here. We've had wonderful author visits that we've been able to open up 6 through 12 to allow these opportunities for our kids. Constitution Day, it was kind of a chaotic mess because of some technology, but the kids' enthusiasm and excitement for the Constitution was pretty fun. So a little messiness is great when we're learning, and so it's just really raised the energy level, and I'm really excited. There's lots more on the 6-12 collaboration. They call themselves the Dream Team, our 6-12 administrative secondary team, and they meet weekly and really have been coming together in a way that they had not been doing before, and I think that we're seeing that in the conversations we're having, and I look forward to the future of continuing to grow that. Middle school is unique from high school. They're not the same experience, but we want to build on that experience where it makes sense and provide opportunities that make us unique, again, as we're marketing ourselves. Another big shout out to Jamesia Chiava is the expansion of middle school sports. We have joined MISL, M-I-S-L, I think is, I might get the letters in wrong order, but we're now competing against other schools in both cross country. We already had middle school wrestling was already a thing, but now it's part of this organization, so they're able to I went to the middle school basketball game, and it feels like a high school basketball game. Like the excitement and the enthusiasm, and it's just a little bit taking it up a notch, I think, from what we started before, which is great, and just taking it to the next level. Cross country had 23 middle schoolers try out for cross country this year, run cross country, and they were very excited because we had our first girls state team, or the team went to state for cross country this year, and now we've built an amazing program, 6-12, which is great. Tony Dobson, I am so excited. Mark your calendars, January 12th, you heard it here first. January 12th, the new website will be officially unrolling. It is beautiful. And this is not just moving old information to a new, prettier version, although that's some of it. A lot of this is building it from scratch. And I do need to make it known that, many districts have like somebody whose whole job is the website. And so for Tony to be taking and migrating that over the last 6 months is a huge, huge deal. Other work that he's been doing is with our Spirit Store. We do now have a Spirit Store. If you order now, it'll be here before the holidays. So we have an ongoing Spirit Store. Some next steps there are to incorporate a little bit more student voice in what is being designed. But we also have a partnership with Nike. So some of those premium big brands every season, fall and winter sports, have some really cool swag that people can buy. So we can see that purple that I love everywhere out on full display. So very excited that Spirit Store is going to be up always. And there'll be opportunities to add to it, but anytime somebody wants to buy anything, it will be available. Andrew and our online evaluation tool, again, I know they all love the things that I have ideas, but this is beautiful. We used to have Google Docs, and it was a whole mess, and it was a thing, and now we can put everything in one spot. Teachers' feedback can be done in a more timely fashion. It is done, there's been some learning curves, but it is, house all of it in one place. And it also ensures that the principals know exactly what little steps they have to take. So it also streamlines the process. And that is not a small undertaking, so I appreciate that work. We've also had a ton of great community events. I already highlighted many of them, at the 5K, the Pink App, the Tailgate, all kinds of wonderful events, our homecoming game. Student leadership, I don't know if you know this, but Beaky's been everywhere. He was in early childhood. We've got like 4 or 5 Beakies. And the students were like, hey, where do I was in the front office and the high schoolers were like, hey, where do I sign up to be a Beaky? Where do I sign up to be a Beaky? So they are excited about this. So Beaky is everywhere. Our pep assemblies, just student leadership, Stuco. I am so excited. You saw the what it called the dynamic, they're not the dynamic duo because there's 3 of them. Whatever, triple, I don't know what you call them. But the 3, Kelsey and Jordan, Kelsey, Lizzie, and Kenzie. I think Jordan's a part of that too. But they have gone out of their comfort zone and we have partnered them. They are now a member, for the first time ever, Brentwood is a member of the Gateway Student Council. I can't remember what the acronym is, I know Ronnie probably knows it. But we are now a part of that, and so they got to go in November to hang out with 400 other Stuco students from around the St. Louis County area. My son was one of them, so he had to go over there and got to hang out with the Brentwood kids. They actually went to my son's high school and visited with their Stuco to get some ideas. They were a little bit nervous, and then after they met the students, they made new friends. They've been texting, and then they went to the leadership. They got a shout out in front of all 400 for this being their first year there. The Lindbergh kids were very excited to see them because they'd already met them. It was a wonderful opportunity. So just these, and they've learned, so they just finished cocoa and cramming. Is that what it was called? Yeah. Cocoa and cramming? It's, yes, cookies, cocoa and cramming after school. And that was an idea that they got at their very first, whatever it's called. Thank you. Whatever it's called. Gateway Student Council. They got that idea from there and they've already taken it and brought it back. So very excited about these opportunities. We've already talked tonight about the NTB process. This, takes a lot of time. And that's a Matt and an Andrew thing. The amount of time to run numbers, to run projections, to go through different proposals. We're halfway through. We've gotten our teacher process and I think it was really positive. And I look forward to the support staff one being equally as positive. And we'll be starting that in January. And then safety is not actually, it's kind of odd, it's not actually part of our strategic plan, but always a huge priority for us. But the safety training, the entire district has had active shooter training. We've been working to finish our emergency operations plan, which will be taken, brought to you guys and shared with you in January. We have a mobile device that we'll be rolling out in January, training all of our teachers on. We've done Stop the Bleed training for all of our staff, has now completed the Stop the Bleed training from K through 12. And really appreciative, and how wonderful that Officer Pettit is here, because we've been partnering with the Brentwood Police Department on all of that, and really grateful for their opportunity to work with us. And then I had to, this time last year, I don't know if you know this, it was at this board meeting last year, you all approved the outdoor scoreboard. That is now beautiful. And we are excited that it's out there. I don't know if you know the sound system, if anybody lives around there, I'm sure you hear it a little bit better, which is maybe a good or bad thing. But we are really excited that when you're playing a game, you can see the score day or night. And so we're very excited about that. So Andy's not here, but the facilities, just the overhaul and the painting and everything to make the field look as good as it can. Huge undertaking by everybody. And then continuous improvement. We've gotten a lot accomplished. There's still work constantly for us to keep doing. It's job security for all of us in this room, but it's also really exciting work and we're really proud and happy to do it. We're going to have to be communicating our new schedule. It does change our, there's some changes that it will apply on our credits, which is totally not a big, it's not huge, but we need to make sure we communicate that. Teachers will learn much more about it January 16th. And get a lot of other details and give feedback starting January 16th. Like I said, this may happen a little bit in the spring, but more so for next year as PD for teachers around the MTSS work. The new website launch, as I said, will happen in January. One of the areas, and again, this may not happen by second semester, but it's, next steps is really looking at, we've been focusing on middle school to high school alignment. The next step is elementary school to middle school alignment. But Jamesi's getting her feet under her, and man, she can get stuff done. So I have faith that that will happen sooner rather than later. Today, we just talked about summer programming for families. Our hope is by the end of July, we will have the athletics and camps available and pushed out so that parents can know what is available. The signups may not be quite ready by that point, but you'll at least know the dates that are available.
That is
Katie, I thought you. We had our one-on-one today. I was like, Jamesia, Katie needs this by the end of January. That's what I So we are very excited. How much we'll be able to accomplish this summer versus, in the future. She feels very comfortable and confident that we're going to be able to get something up and running, a variety of different things, but mostly the athletic camps. Eventually, we'd like to expand it to more than just athletics, but I think that's a really great starting spot. As I mentioned, the Raptor mobile app, which will be great because it's a way for teachers to be able to quickly notify anyone and get alerted on their cell phones, because that's what we carry with us, versus like announcements or something through a phone. And if there's a lockdown or a shutdown or severe weather, any of those things, and then the emergency operations plan, as I mentioned. We have a draft, but we'll be sharing that with the board. And then, like I said, with the spirit stores, getting the student voice in there and asking them to design things, it may shock you. The kids don't want to buy the thing that the parents pick out for them. I don't know if anybody lives in a house like that. I do. My 14-year-old and 12-year-old will tell you. My 9-year-old still lets me dress them, but the rest, not so much. So we want to get student voice in there and let them help. We've got Christine Tilley and her students chomping at the bit to take that on, and so helping them. And then even asking, looking and seeing what ways can they help support communications, whether that's them taking pictures, giving us ideas. As we talked about that community newsletter with the Pulse, lots of districts do it in a variety of different ways, but they do these newsletters that still go out to all the families so they get paper copies. Some do it twice a semester, or twice a year, or 3 times a year, like Tony said. But having the students, the journalism students, really take an active role in creating the stories and pulling the pictures and things like that. For that is a part of our plan as we roll that out. Our hope, I think, is to maybe get one done this summer, but I don't know if you noticed that I just mentioned Tony and his one-man shop on the website, so we're going to see kind of where that lands. So that's on there too. And the other thing that I have not touched, because I don't really know how it's December 16th yet, is having more opportunities for me to sit down with different groups. I do have my PTO leadership group. I do have other opportunities throughout just being at sports and events to talk to people, but I would like to start doing that kind of, quarterly, try to make my way around the district to allow parents to just come and ask questions and have an opportunity to chat a little bit more, and it's on my to-do list, and unfortunately has not been done yet. So that is an area of growth. So that I knew it was going to take me a long time because I'm really excited about all of this work, but I appreciate your attention. Questions or things that you're like, whoa, I mean, we said this, well, I don't see it on your next steps. It's very possible that they're there. I was picking the high points, but please feel free to ask away.
So I was just going to say, such good data, and thank you for the reminder on Friday in your newsletter to go back and look through the dashboard and all the data that's on there, because there's so much data. And it's easily accessible. I just checked, it's the same spot on our current website as it's going to be on our new website. So maybe letting the community know that this is up there, because I think if you haven't been going to the website or haven't heard this, it's a good reminder. I mean, just a very clear communication just about our strategic plan and all of that information. I do think families would want to dig into that at some point, and it's...
It may be a good standalone push-out message to send it, and we have the district, we do our weekly updates too, but I almost even think of social media, like, great, like the board, we updated the strategic plan. If you haven't looked at it for a while, take a look.
I had similar thoughts. Do we have any read on how much that stuff is accessed by people in the community?
Can we tell that? I don't know. I looked at Tony, because I don't, since we don't own that dashboard, I don't know if we could tell how many people click on it. But I can check with the HLA people. I'll see if they can tell us any of that, and I don't know if the new one would be able to show, because that one does have some analytics in there, but I don't know.
It's not our domain, so it's not tied to our analytics, but if they're creating things like that, there should be some.
Yeah. I would say that we're paying enough money for them to figure that out for us. So we will, I'll ask.
Yeah,
it's a fair question.
I think it's a really good question.
And I agree with Lindsay, thanks for reminding, because I did look at it, and you encouraged me to try and think of things to add to it or something. which I really didn't, although the only thought I had was, what if there was some kind of statement, and maybe it's part of the way to invite people in to look at this stuff, some kind of statement from the board as to why we take care, or why we pay attention to all these sorts of statistics. You know, there's things that are financial, there's things about achievement, there's things about, you know, what you're showing about kids leaving and, you know, moving and all that kind of stuff. A way to kind of, because it's just it's a big bunch of data, and I know you put, you know, like ACT scores, you can look and you can see what are averages elsewhere, so it starts to have some meaning, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of this stuff, you know, I think somebody who doesn't listen to this stuff all the time, you look at this and it's a bunch of data, and it's like, well, why is that important? You know, some of it's obvious, some of it's not so obvious, you know, and so I'm not saying anything very specific, but something to put a bigger gloss on it as to, you know, why this stuff is there.
To contextualize it.
To it.
Yeah,
One
we
of
want
the pieces of
contextualize
feedback
it.
that we have not done, probably because I really hate being on camera, but Tony and I have talked about doing, and I think it's just been a time factor. But I think as we get the new website up, we should maybe revisit this, is me doing like not as long as this, but a quick like video that you could click on it that explains the data that people could click on. And that was feedback that we got from PTO. I've also gone and done a shorter version of this spiel to some of the PTOs and to the PTO leadership team that I worked with when it first came out, but I have not revisited it. And so I do wonder if something to help set the context. That was some suggestions that have been put out there, we just haven't done it yet. But I think that's something Tony and I can talk about too, is how do we help? Because I do agree, as someone who lives in this all the time, I hadn't looked at it. And once you look at it, you know what I mean? We update it as we update it. And I could get sucked into this for hours, so I actually try not to, because I know we're doing the work and everything's aligned until I'm ready to update it. But I do think figuring out a way to help people know that it's there, reminding it, and then setting the stage a little bit better, because it can be overwhelming if you're not in it. I mean, it's a fair point.
You know, a lot of it just, I think, can look kind of meaningless to someone who's not really paying attention to these things. Why do we care about that? Why do we care about that? And there's a reason that we care about all these things, and maybe some kind of statement, you know, because there's a ton of information that we never had spewed out to the community before. You know, we could say, we used to be able to say our tax rate was the second lowest in the county, and everybody kind of, you know, everybody understands what that means, you know. But, and, you know, we had little bits of information that are easily gone onto, but these are a whole bunch of other things. They're all meaningful, and there's a reason we keep track of this stuff. So I don't know.
I think it's
I don't really have a
No, I hear you.
Yeah,
I think that's
No, I think there's ways that Tony and I can kind of brainstorm ways to summarize that. I also think you brought up a point that just triggered in my head that we should talk about, because I also think misinformation, we're not the highest tax rate in the county. So like, we're not the lowest, but we're not the highest either. And so I also do think that's something that we could put as a data point in that kind of section to help people know where we rank on that. I mean, I think education for our community is a really important thing, because again, I think narratives, and anecdotally, people are sharing things that maybe they don't have the right information or the right understanding. So I just think knowledge is power.
So I think this information's great. I'm not sure that everybody really knows what they're looking at when they look at it.
Yeah, I would second that with Keith, because even as I was preparing for today and looking at it, it's just a lot of information and just prompts to be like, what's really powerful are the trends.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's the raw numbers, but like, look at the trends.
Yeah, and it is a difficult tool for how you upload the data. So some of this is kind of growing pains for us too, because we don't have a lot of the trend data in there yet. But as we add more, finding the best way to add that in a way that is easy. And so it's good to have now. And we talk about how this tool is great. For me, what it's also great about is an accountability piece. I think it's important for us as, I'm going to use my me. It's important for me because my accountability to the board and to the community, it shows that we're doing the work that the community has told us is important through the strategic plan. The whole community may not know every single little strategy and every little piece, but knowing that They gave feedback, our strategic plan is what is guiding our work, and even if you don't understand it all, this is how we're monitoring the work that we're doing. I think is just really powerful in and of itself as that tool. And I will tell you that that's an area that I've not seen a lot of school districts at this level of accountability to publicly be putting this information out. And I'm really grateful for it because again, it keeps us all focused. We know exactly what we're working on. And it is, I think, helped us not, kind of get distracted by anything new and shiny, but really stay true to the course, which I think is really helpful. But I do think there's lots of places for us as we get more used to this and as we look at things like our new website, we can start finding ways to help communicate it a little bit better. I also, this is where my focus groups come in. Like this is where those town hall coffees, to be able to highlight some of this, because no matter what we push out, I don't think anything replaces this, like a conversation and people being able to kind of sit, because it's just not the same. And so I think just for me, my own personal area of growth as I think through is trying to get those opportunities a little bit more structured for me. Now that I've got my feet under me. Most days I feel like I have my feet under me. But we're about a year and a half in, and so just wanting to make sure, as we think forward, how do we have those opportunities to board meetings? I appreciate people that stuck around, but we don't have the highest attendance rates, and so I just need to find other avenues and ways to get in front of staff because one staff, but two community members. Because I do think it's important to share the story beyond. Is
it a lot of time keep maintaining this and keeping this information out?
No, it was to get it started. It is not now because, like I said, we're going to do twice a year, December, and we'll do the end of the year. 3 times does get a little bit cumbersome, but I don't think it's that bad. Now that we've got it built, it's not really that hard to go in and, like I said, it's good for us. Because it forces us to reflect. I say no, Ronnie's the one doing a lot of it. It's not bad. But it's really not bad now that we have it built out. Like I'll do some of the ones and then building like the enrollment one that I built. Like once you have it, it's very easy to add it. And so that's just, last year took a lot of time. This is not, it was just making myself sit in my office for a couple hours and it wasn't that bad. But again, it makes us accountable, which is a good thing.
Well, it's important that it doesn't take so much time to keep it up that you end up getting behind and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I absolutely, and I would be honest with you if I felt that that's where we were going, that this is too cumbersome, but I think it's a really valuable tool, even if I sometimes get frustrated with each one and stuff. But it is a good thing to have us have to sit back and reflect. We don't do that enough in education, I think. Any other
Thank you for
questions?
this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. This will hopefully set the stage in February when we bring our principals back to then talk about their alignment to the strategic plan and the work they're doing individually and then building, aligned to all of this work. Hopefully this will help contextualize it all.
Wonderful. All right, that brings us to our Board of Education part. Any updates for MSBA? Everything is kind of quiet right now, and SSD, we don't have Katie here tonight. I don't know that she's been to a meeting recently. Board committee updates.
We just had the finance and facilities meeting. Yes, was that just yesterday? Yeah.
Okay.
We just discussed we just discussed work that we're doing around insurance.
Yeah, we're evaluating insurance options for employee insurance currently. There's some changes that could potentially impact the school district from our current insurance providers, so we're looking at comparables and alternatives to our existing program and whether or not we're going to potentially adopt a new employee insurance product.
The changes would affect, when we say school district, the employees of the school district. So we're just trying to make sure that we find quality coverage that's financially affordable. So we're starting the process, and we explained it to the group, kind of the process and where we are in it.
Great. And we did teaching and learning. I don't know if I gave an update on that yet. It was great. We did talk about the learning walk, so updates on that, and then AI policies and how things are changing and what the district is doing to ensure that students are using AI responsibly. They're learning how to do it responsibly and Ronnie could talk more to this, but it's kind of in the beginning stages of what that's going to look like, and it's at the upper levels, so not to have parents concerned in elementary school that their kids are going to have access to artificial intelligence. It's not coming here at Brentwood, so everyone will be looking at that ahead of time, but that was a good session. Will you tell me about the learning walks? I will let Ronnie speak to the learning walks.
Sorry,
if
do
you
you have a
want.
specific question or just?
I just don't even know what they are.
So learning walks are when a group of educators, and so when we're doing it, we're asking principals, teachers, TAs, anybody who wants to come with us, to do quick pop-ins to classrooms for like 3 to 5 minutes apiece, just to collect good ideas and good instruction. So we use the instructional framework that we developed last year, and we choose one domain of that framework. So for example, it might be engagement and instruction. And so we all go in there with similar lenses, looking for things that are examples of high engagement or great strategies teachers are using. And it's intended so that the people who are popping in are doing the learning. And then for the teacher who's the one in the room being visited, it's just an opportunity to really just showcase great work that's happening. And we leave some little positive post-its, and we then share our good ideas out in the hallway. And so it's our way of building kind of a catalog of examples and strategies for that instructional framework. So when we say, for example, like build strong positive relationships with students, we can have some real life examples of what does that look like in a second grade classroom? What does that look like in a middle school classroom? Things we've actually seen in our teachers' classrooms.
Love that, thank you.
Yeah, very exciting. Any other things board members would like to share? No? Okay. And we've got, we don't have Brian here for 353. I don't think that there are any updates. And then upcoming events. So the candidates, anyone who would like to run for the school board, that did open. I believe
We have one.
We have one person signed up.
December 9th, we do have one person signed up as of today.
And there are, this time, it's 3 seats, and that closes on December 30th. So people have some time to think about that. Always, if anyone's watching and wants to reach out and kind of learn about being a board member, you can contact any of us. And then upcoming events, possible, we haven't talked about a workshop yet.
We haven't talked about the workshop. The workshop I want to do in February would be with the principals like we did last time, where they go over their goals and their school improvement plans. So we won't do that in January. It would just be if we had any policies, but with the fact that we haven't had any, I think we'll probably be canceling that one.
Okay. All right, so next board meeting is January 20th, and then we will have 2 meetings in February. And anything else? If not, I will say have a wonderful winter break, everybody, and a good holiday, and rest up. Everyone deserves a rest. And it's 8:44, so I am going to let's adjourn and have roll call, please, Kate.
Mrs. Rowe?
Yes.
Edie Clark? Ryan Dotson?
Yes.
Ryan Flynn? Keith Ravenberg?
Yes.
Denise Ball?
Okay.
Oh, present, yes, here. I closed it and I was really focused on this flopping. I was like, why is it flopping?
All right, thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.
No, I think you actually get it on. You said we'd be.
I said what did you say?
Home by
She said
9.
But he said before 9.
It's my fault. I was hedging my bets like you did.